Toxic heavy metals cause mind control. They create mind control. That's what toxic heavy metals do. Mercury, aluminum, lead, cadmium, nickel, copper, arsenic, even toxic hard calcium is a toxic heavy metal. Industrialized calcium. They sit inside our brain and they cause problems. Mind control problems. They make it so you make decisions that you probably regret it throughout your life. They make it so you make decisions that maybe you would have never made in your life. Or, maybe intentions wouldn't have been misconstrued, or maybe things in your life have gone a different way because of it. Severe depression can change and shape how someone lives their life, and decisions are made because of it. Severe unexplained depression because of metals. Anxiety and panic attacks and nervousness, social anxiety, confidence problems, because the mind control that toxic heavy metals create inside of our brain. It's important to get mercury, aluminum, and other toxic heavy metals out of the brain, including copper. And the funny thing is, trends like the whole thing with copper thermoses and mugs are sticking more toxic heavy metal inside your brain, causing more mind control issues so that you get depersonalization, OCD, anxiety, depression, memory loss, brain fog, and other problems too. So we're constantly battling the world of contamination of toxic heavy metals. We're day 2. Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge, you guys. Glad you guys are coming on. It's an important time. Of course, we're censored as usually on IG. We're sitting there at 500, it won't budge. And apparently they really don't like talking about toxic heavy metals. We're on TikTok live right now. Heck, it's dropping. It's under 500. Fantastic. You guys, we're live right now. This is exciting. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to make a few different things. I'm going to be doing the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie. We're going to talk about mind control and how that works. We're also going to talk about why these things work. Like, why do the 5 incredible ingredients inside the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie, the famous Heavy Metal Detox smoothie around the world that people are doing. I want to do a shout out for people. Netherlands, Holland, Scotland, the UK, Germany, Australia. People around the world are doing the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie and the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. I'm proud of everybody around the world. It's incredible. It's a whole world movement we got removing toxic heavy metals right now. It's an incredible time. Do you guys have Cleanse to Heal right here? Good to see you guys. Do you have Cleanse to Heal? Critical to have. Page 179, Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. Take advantage of the opportunity and work on healing, okay? It's not like someday I'll get the book, someday I'll heal, someday I'll work on it, someday I'll try to do better. Get the book, okay? Denmark, amazing. Good to see you, incredible. Estonia, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Amazing. Share your stories, by the way, hashtag medicalmedium and tag at medicalmedium. That's the only way I'll be able to see your story or your post, so then I could repost. You just got the book, Chef's Marie. Amazing. This book right here, 51% off. Melissa Pickin, it is the best book, isn't it? Incredible, right? 51% off, Amazon.com US. 51% off, $16.99. Take advantage of its Cleanse to Heal. Page 179 is the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. We're in day 2 of the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. Incredible. Lithuania, good to see you here. Somebody said California, good to see you here. Canada, I saw. Russia, yeah, awesome. Prague, incredible. Aussie. Sweden. So many people around the world are doing the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse, Heavy Metal Detox Challenge. And the Medical Medium books are published around the world. So amazing. So your books are life-saving? Oh, that's so incredible. Hawaii, Maine, incredible. Love it. Colombia, oh, so glad you're here. Romania, this is just too cool. Texas, Australia, again, amazing, guys. Argentina, Portugal, Germany, Spain, so cool. Pennsylvania, Saskatchewan, Canada, That's cool. Oregon, amazing guys. Las Vegas, Pennsylvania, Canada again. You guys incredible. I'm so glad we're here. This is a special time. It really is. Because we're all doing this together around the world. And I'm just proud of all you guys, really. That's what it is. Metals sit inside our brain, and we get metals in so many different ways. So, you know how I always talk about like the perfumes and the colognes? It's like, yeah, perfumes, colognes. Oh my God, Taiwan is incredible. Ireland, whoa. You guys know I talk about perfumes, colognes. I saw Norway come up. Scented candles, air fresheners, and the thing is the perfumes and colognes, people still don't understand that yet. They don't get why I talk about the perfumes and colognes. There's pesticides in perfumes and colognes. There's pesticides in them, not a residue of pesticide. Perfumes are made from pesticides. Many perfumes are made from pesticides. Many colognes are made from pesticides, rodenticides. Rodent killer in all the farmland. They use when they're growing our crops, they use rodent killer. They spray the fields. And that rodent killer has a cologne base to it. There's cologne in the rodent killer. Cologne, because rodent killer partly is cologne. Colognes have rodent killer in them, okay? So that's how it works. So when you're spraying perfumes, you're spraying pesticides. So that's like you're breathing them into your sinuses and you're getting more metals inside the brain because the perfumes and colognes are pesticides that go directly, they mainline to the brain really easily. Aurora's Morning said there's no ingredient listed on perfume bottles. There's a reason, because it has pesticides in them. Not pesticide residue. Pesticides in them, like used as an ingredient. Pesticide. You know, X3, X117, Q, 3RZ, pesticide is in there. That's why they can't list it. Perfume companies can't list their ingredient list. Fragrances can't list. Fragrance companies can't list the ingredients, and because there's actual pesticide serial numbers in each one. It's not even just like red dye number 7, red dye number 3. No. It's like 5748226QR7 deadly pesticide, patented pesticide. That's what's in colognes and perfumes and scented candles and the fragrances and scented candles and air fresheners. That's why. So I know, I remember, I'm talking about this stuff, and I've been punished for it, really. People have put out like bad videos out there and about the medical medium. They put out bad posts and say, there's so many bad things happening in the world. The medical medium just cares about perfumes and colognes. Okay, really? Good. You keep on spraying all that pesticide in your face and on everybody's face. It's terrible. And there's no ingredients listed in fragrances and perfume. That's what they do. They say perfume. They're supposed to say pesticides, insecticides, rodenticides. And fungicides. That's what they're supposed to list when they list perfume. If they give you an ingredient list in perfume, it would say fungicide 747288. It would say insecticide 8477 patented at the patent's office. Whatever it would say. That's what it would say. Just letting you know, and that's one of the reasons why we get metals. So even if you don't use colognes, perfumes, you're just going to breathe it in. I breathe it in every day. If I'm out, you just smell it everywhere, every place. People doused with it. But okay, people do it. They do it. But we got to get it out. I know how it's going in everybody. But how do we get it out? How do we get it out? And mind control runs really deep, because mind control is not just about the metals in the mind, which I'm going to talk about what happens when the toxic heavy metals go in your brain and why it creates mind control problems. But it's how they also contaminate us with these toxic heavy metals. They make us fear mosquitoes, so they dump mosquito spray on us. Just so you know, you guys, they're dumping mosquito spray on a daily basis all around the country, just all around the U.S. right now. Just dumping truckloads of mosquito spray on your family, your children, you, everybody, just dumping it right now out of the sky, out of helicopters right now. Okay? That's what they do. And the metals in those pesticides that they're dumping cause a mind control problem. That's how it works. And I mean, this is just part of it, right? And part of the mind control is putting you into fear about mosquitoes so they can dump pesticides and you accept it. Everybody literally in the world should stand up to the chemical companies and be like, don't be dumping that pesticide on our heads every day now. And stop putting us in fear over a mosquito. Because obviously those pesticides haven't worked yet. Because they haven't killed any mosquitoes yet. Because the mosquitoes run their course anyway, their natural course. They hatch and then they die. It's not the mosquito spray that's killing mosquitoes, it's the mosquito spray killing people. So they actually do it on purpose. So they kill people they're trying to kill people on purpose in a slow, painful way by getting you covered with mosquito spray. That's where a lot of the metals come from in everybody's brain. Been kicked off at least 6 or 7 times. No, I know. The censorship is just unbelievable right now. So, but we can't let that get us down. We just gotta we're doing the day 2 of the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. I'm excited to be here, you guys. We're gonna talk about OCD a little bit, depression, anxiety, how metals work. I'm gonna make the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie. We're gonna talk about how that smoothie works. We're gonna talk about how electrical impulses in your brain, how they work. We're gonna do a little brain talk for a couple of seconds. Yep. So you think everybody would stand up and say, we don't want that neurotoxic metal dumped on our families and our children, but they have you brainwashed. They have, not you guys, but they have the mainstream population brainwashed to accept that they should be dumping mosquito spray on you and your family every day. And they don't even tell you that they can't kill off the mosquitoes. That's why they never do and never have. If the mosquito spray worked, there wouldn't be a mosquito left. So they do it because they poison you and they exterminate you. So the point is, the chemical industry is slowly trying to exterminate people. It's purposely done. It's an extermination policy that they have. It's a slow, painful extermination policy so you don't live to be in your ripe old age. So that's what it is. That's a big part of it. And it's done by the trillionaires. That's what it's done. Not the billionaires listed in Forbes, but the trillionaires. That's how it's done. The trillionaires you guys don't know or hear about. And then they'll blame your genes. So the goal is to mind control, kill you slowly too in the process. Dump all the chemicals on you. Dump all the chemicals on you through perfumes, colognes, and other chemical abominations, and and air fresheners and scented candles, and dump all that chemical on you, right? So that you live a shorter life. And then as you die slowly, they tell you it's your genes because you're a crappy made person. You're made really bad. That's what you are. You're made bad. God made you bad. And if you don't believe in God, then the earth made you bad. You're just a bad unit, a faulty unit. Your genes are bad. So that's what they'll do. They'll try to train you and brainwash you that your genes are bad. So they sit there and they poison you with metals everywhere. Radiation and metals and insecticides and chemicals and fungicides and nanotechnology. They poison you. They work on exterminating you. They dump mosquito spray on you every day, and they try to exterminate your children. They try to exterminate your families. That's what the chemical giants do, right? They're just all exterminating. And then as you get sick, and everybody gets sick slowly over time, no, it's you. You're a faulty, bad person. Your genes, it's your genes. Let's do another $10 billion in gene testing, right? Yeah. We live longer than people from the Middle Ages. Actually, did you know life expectancy has dropped? So you don't even know your own science. Your own science. Conventional science is even admitting life expectancy has dropped. The average life expectancy is actually changed. It's dropped. I predicted that 35 years ago with Spirit of Compassion. Now it's going downwards. So actually, no, you're not living longer anymore. You're living shorter. They lived longer in the 1920s, just so you know, than they do now. So yeah, this misinformation. Yep. All right, let's have some fun. You guys, I'm glad you're here. It's an honor. If you get kicked off, keep on trying to get on if you can, and try again. Day 2. Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. All right? We got some brains in front of us. Let's go into it. So metals settle into the brain is what they do. That's the place metals get magnetically pulled into. All right? Because that's where your electricity is. This is where your electricity is. Your electricity is in the brain. That's where the electrical impulses are. Your brain's made out of electricity. There's electrical currents going through there. Toxic heavy metals find their way in the brain more. Andrea said you got 850 viewers. It was 6,000 viewers, 8,000 viewers in 2018 and 17, and then they censored me during Liver Rescue. The Liver Rescue book launch in 2018, they censored me, and they won't let more than 1,000 or more on now. So metals congregate inside the brain, just so you know. Okay? If they cut your sound, reload, try to reload and get on the video again. Metals congregate inside the brain. That's how it works. They get attracted to the brain. That's how it works. So we end up with all the metal, the alloy inside of our brain, right? An alloy is something that we industrialize and mix to make a bicycle stronger. We mix metals, right? Pans are alloys now, right? They're mixes of metals. They're alloys, okay? So what happens is inside of our brain, we have a mix of metals. Aluminum, mercury, lead, calcium, arsenic. We got a mix of metals inside of our brain. And those metals end up sitting on top of neurons, right? And when they sit on top of neurons, they hamper the neurotransmitters. They hamper the neuroelectricity. They hamper the electricity down so we get depression. So if you got depression that's unexplainable, that's a toxic heavy metal problem in the brain. If you have anxiety that's unexplainable, that's toxic heavy metals on the neurons inside the brain. You could have viruses too that make it worse, but you still got metals. Right? So that's what happens there. And then if you have OCD, you got metals on neurons. So when you have metals on neurons, like a little metal deposit, and you got an electrical impulse that's going through that neuron, it's going to hit that metal deposit and bounce back. So that's what creates your OCD. So anybody with OCD, repetitive thoughts, you think someone's going to die, you think you're going to die, you can't break the thoughts, or you think, you keep on repetitively thinking about something. Did I finish the conversation right with that person? God, did I say the wrong things? Let me replay the conversation in my mind over and over again. Let me keep on replaying that conversation. I think I said the wrong things. I think I did the wrong thing. It's that OCD kicks in, right? That OCD. That's what happens. Well, what that is metal, right? That's metal getting in the way. Is what it is. So I'm gonna say that this pencil right here is a neuron, and that's metal on the neuron inside your brain, right? So the pencil is a neuron. And that's metal in the middle of the neuron. Okay? And so when a neuron inside your brain has metal in the middle of it or on it, an electrical impulse then travels down the neuron and hits the metal. When it hits the metal, that's how your OCD starts. That's how you have OCD. This is important to know. That's why the heavy metal detox cleanse is so important, especially people with OCD. See how it works? So if that OCD is the kind where you actually physically carry out your OCD problem, like you're checking the stoves and checking the door locks, and you're checking your car door to make sure it's locked over and over again. You're checking your refrigerator. You're checking the lights in your house, right? if you're physically acting on your OCD, that's because there's an electrical impulse hitting the metal inside that's wrapped around that neuron, right? If your OCD is thoughts where I'm going to die, Maggie, I am right. You're actually wrong. I'm sorry, right? If what happens is if you got repetitive thoughts, like something bad is going to happen. Oh my God, someone is going to die. I can't break the thoughts. I'm really worried. Or I'm going to die. Or I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to hurt myself. Whatever it's going to happen, okay, with those repetitive thoughts, whatever they are, that's an electrical impulse going down the neuron and hitting the metal on the neuron. That's what that is. Maggie, you're saying it's stereotypical OCD? Okay, so you're an OCD troll. So you're saying that it's stereotypical OCD is somebody with light switches. Okay. First of all, did you hear what I'm saying? I'm saying there's different varieties of OCD. So apparently your OCD is not allowing something here to make a connection because I'm actually explaining all the different varieties of OCD. So apparently your OCD, Maggie, is probably really in the way for you to get this information or something right now. Because I had somebody that I helped years ago that had OCD. Did you ever hear of this variety of OCD? The person that I helped that came to me thought that their head wasn't connected to their body. So they would have to carry a compact mirror with them if they left the house. Because they would have to look at the mirror all the time to make sure their head was attached to their body. That was OCD. Right? Yep. Okay? And so she would have to go in front of the mirror to see if her head was connected to her body. She also thought she left her head behind. Like she would be going forward and her head was left in the other room. And she was sane. She wasn't crazy. She was perfectly 100% sane. She was suffering from OCD. So don't say stereotypical OCD because I've seen varieties of OCD you have never seen before. Okay, lots of them. And I talked about this on the last live I just did, where I've known somebody who literally couldn't go to work because when they were driving down the road, every time they hit a pothole, they thought they ran somebody over, like a baby over. So they would have, their OCD made them think they ran a baby over. So they would go and drive all the way around the highway back and drive down and try to look at the highway to make sure there wasn't a baby on the highway. And then they would run over the same pothole and then go all the way back thinking they ran over a baby again. And that was a sane person. And they would have to go, is that a typical, stereotypical OCD to you? Huh? So you don't like when I said because light switches and stove switches, that's it's stereotypical? Well, just so you know, I know a lot of people that suffer from that where they had to check the stove a million times. Stereotypical or not, they still had to. What, we can't talk about them anymore because it's stereotypical? But what about the one where I'm telling you about like a person driving down the road and literally they'd be an hour late to work because they had to circle the spot 5 or 10 times to make sure there wasn't a baby dead in the road. And so they would, and there wasn't, of course. They were just running over a pothole. There's lots of varieties of OCD. So Maggie, take a hike. Get off of here. Go somewhere if you like. Or stay and learn. One or the other. Because I know, because that's the whole thing. Here's the thing. So what's happening here is your neuron, right, has electrical impulses running down it, and it hits the metal, and it ricochets up. It ricochets up. And when it ricochets up, another electrical impulse is coming down at the same time and hits that electrical impulse, and they explode. And the OCD turns into anxiety now. So that's when anxiety starts happening with your OCD, because electrical impulses are now running into each other. So not only is an electrical impulse hitting the metal inside the neuron, but another electrical impulse is coming behind it and hitting that electrical impulse. And they're now exploding. Now anxiety and panic is coming on. And now it's OCD and anxiety coupled together. And I'm giving you how it works. The electrical impulse carries a thought on top of it. And if that thought can't pass through because it's hitting the toxic heavy metal on the neuron, if that thought can't pass through, it's going to get jumbled with another thought behind that electrical impulse carrying another thought. Electricity carries thoughts, information. So now you got electrical impulses collapsing on each other, running into the metal on the neuron. And that's how you can get a different variety of OCD for a lot of different reasons, right? Yep, Anita says, my child's picks on her skin, like fingers, and she's turning a lot when walking. The OCD is crippling. It's crippling. It's crippling. It really is. And that's how it works. It really is. I've run into so many people. I mean, I've talked to, God, thousands over the last 35 years with crippling OCD. And Maggie, you know, look, stay on and try to learn something so you can learn. It's not just stereotypical OCD. It's all varieties of OCD. Okay? That's how it works. It's all varieties of OCD. And people suffer from all the different varieties. Some people suffer from 3 or 4 varieties at once. At once. They suffer with, they're worried they're going to die. They're suffering that they're worried they're going to kill themselves. They're suffering that they're worried they hurt somebody. They're suffering that they're worried they said something wrong. And all at the same time, they still don't know the doors are locked or not. They still don't know if the lights are on or off or not. They still don't know if they can get into their car and drive down the street. They still don't know a lot of things on top of the fact that they have repetitive thoughts in different directions and everything. It's crippling and encompass your whole life on all levels. And it depends on how much metal you have inside of you. It depends on how much metal you have inside of you and where the metal is and how much. That's what matters. And did the metal become an alloy? Did it mix? And that's the other thing too. Did it mix? Very important to know, okay? Let's go into copper a little bit. Copper's a real brutal one. Real brutal one. By the way, if you guys just got on here, if you have Cleanse to Heal, because we're doing the heavy metal detox cleanse challenge. This is day 2 of the heavy metal detox cleanse challenge. Day 2. Page 179. Right here in Cleanse to Heal, the details matter. It's all in there on how to do it so you can heal and get better. So important to know. It's Amazon.com US, 51% off. It costs more to print the book. The book is dirt cheap right now. They're practically giving it away, this book right now on Amazon. OCD has many levels. Some are less intrusive. Some are crippling. Crippling. Anyway, check out Cleanse and Heal if you guys get a chance. You really need that if you're doing the cleanse. You really need that if you want to be involved. It's an important thing to do and get, okay? Right? Anxiety can be crippling too. So toxic heavy metals, they're like mind control on us. They interfere with our life. We could have crippling anxiety, crippling depression. So I want to talk about like copper, for example. Copper right now is a trend for people to use. You know, and copper interferes with a lot of different people's problems. It's like we're talking dementia, memory loss, brain fog, anxiety, depression, OCD too. Copper's a bad one. Copper's a metal that's inside people's brain, and a lot of it is in people's brains too. You can have smaller versions of anxiety, and you can have larger versions of anxiety, smaller versions of depression, larger versions, more crippling versions of depression. There's depression where people can't leave the house, they can't even function, they can't live their life on any level, and there's depression where they're still functioning, and it's a mild depression. You could have depersonalization. You can have all levels of conditions, both severe and mild. Copper's a tough one right now because the trend is to do copper. Like you're like it's good for you or something. Copper thermoses. You know, copper jewelry, and so the whole copper. But what people don't realize, copper is one of the destructive ingredients in pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. It's copper. Copper is one of the most antagonistic and rampant metals. You don't want to play with copper on any level. You'll worsen your condition greatly. So keep that in mind. You don't want to play with copper. So keep the copper out of your life on every level, any level you can. Mercury's a big one. And there's the fish oil right there. So mercury, we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let's get moving. Cover some stuff. Guys, we're in day 2 of the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. Gonna make some lemon water. 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water, right? You got your lemons. You want to stay hydrated because you can't flush metals out if you're not hydrated. Something to really know. So lemon is important. So 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water. Right there. Upon waking first thing in the morning. Yes, did copper water in pregnancy. Yes, did copper water in pregnancy, as per Ayurveda, ended up with baby having eczema. Vibrant, yeah, it's the whole copper thing is devastating to me because it's misinformation out there. Copper water's a nightmare. Jasper. What about natural copper that's in Himalayan sea salt? Those are trace minerals. Those are trace minerals. And here's the thing. Copper's in everything, trace mineral-wise. So we have an abundance of copper. We have too much copper. That's the problem, guys. So you know that copper is excessive. It's in everything we eat. It's in avocados. They're high in copper. It's in Himalayan salt that's high in there. But industrialized copper is different than the trace mineral copper in your fruit or your vegetable, right? So the industrialized copper is the really, really bad stuff. It's bad enough we have already too much copper in everything. Pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, all of it is copper. We breathe in copper. Chemtrails drop copper all day long on us. We're buried in copper, right? Copper is one of the reasons why we have our problems. It is the reason why we have our eczema and our psoriasis. So, and I feel really bad that you were told to drink copper water during pregnancy. That's a nightmare to me. That's a nightmare, and it's sad. So, but at least you have tools to get copper out of your baby, and you have tools to get copper out of your children and out of your body, and that's the key right there. It's important. So, 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water first thing in the morning. Dr. Fun, good to see you. All right. Let's go. All right. Moving on. Let's get some celery juice going. Day 2, Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. Yep. Let's go. Gonna run some celery. Alina says my baby had eczema so bad, but he is cured now. Thank you, AW. The Heavy Metal Detox movie got the copper out. Amazing. Incredible. Just a reminder, you guys, the details matter. Make sure you have Cleanse to Heal. If you're new here, pick up the book. You won't be sorry. Best book. Already did. Yep. 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water. You have to have hydration. It's critical because when you're doing the lemon water first thing in the morning, you're flushing out metals. That's your Heavy Metal Detox movie is gathering. It's important to have hydration. We're day 2, Heavy Metal Detox smoothie. You don't want hot lemon water. And you don't want 8 ounces of lemon water. You want to try to do 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water. Hot lemon water stops it from having that hydration factor. You can't get hydrated from herbal tea with lemon in it. You can't get hydrated from hot lemon water. You can't get hydrated. It's not possible. Important to know. Cold White Spring, thank you. The juicer is the MM900 HDS. That's the one that saves you money. It's at omegajuicers.com. I don't have time to explain the whole juicer thing, but thank you for letting people know exactly. Lemon water, when it's heated, when you heat the lemon, you killed it off. It has to be in its living form in order to hydrate. As far as lemon goes, you guys, hydration is a way to get metals out. Now, lemon won't get metals out. Lemon won't get metals out. Dr. Sherry Green, good to see you. But lemon freshly squeezed in water allows you to flush the metals that are going to be removed by your heavy metal detox smoothie. Cold White Spring, thank you. I do appreciate it. We're doing celery. Wait 15 to 30 minutes after your lemon water, and now you're on to celery juice. Celery juice is the next part. X Rose X, good to see you. Celery juice is the next part. 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice on an empty stomach. You're still doing an empty stomach. Lemon water wasn't food. So you're doing 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice. Don't add anything to the celery juice. Don't add water, ice, or lemon to the celery juice. It has to be an herbal extraction to work. The celery juice helps dislodge the toxic heavy metals from your brain because it's a complete electrolyte. Complete electrolyte. Partial electrolytes in food will not dislodge a toxic heavy metal molecule out of your brain. It won't dislodge, it won't loosen, it won't prep. You need a complete electrolyte to get to the brain because the brain is magnetic, you guys. This is important information. Your brain is magnetic. It's a magnet because of the electricity factor. So the whole point of the celery juice is the complete electrolyte travels up to the brain, helps dislodge and loosen toxic heavy metals so that when you do your heavy metal detox smoothie, you have even a greater chance of getting more metal out. Now, listen, if you're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie and you're doing it with, you're not doing celery juice, that's okay too. You'll get metals out. But to really be clean and mean about it, you know, for that perfect storm, that's a good thing. You want to have the celery juice in the mix, because if you got the celery juice in the mix, you wait 15 to 30 minutes later or longer, and then you bring your heavy metal detox smoothie in. Now you've got that tier, that trifecta going on. You got your lemon water, boom, and then you got your celery juice, boom, and now you're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie, so that trifecta is happening right there. It's important. Can we eat celery? Don't have a juicer. Of course you can eat celery, but it won't do the same thing. You have to have celery juice. Do you have a blender? Do you have a blender? Because you can blend celery and strain it with a nutbag or cheesecloth. You can do that. As I said earlier, do not add lemon, water, ice to your celery juice. Don't do HPP. High pressure pasteurization. High pressure pasteurization is store-bought celery juice that looks like it was freshly juiced, but it's got a date on it that lasts, you know, like for weeks, and it's sitting there, and it's in a container, whether it's in a glass container or whether it's in a plastic container. That is high pressure pasteurization. It doesn't help. It's not good. It's not good for you. Celery juice dies under the high pressure pasteurization. Yoga Cassidy says, celery juice has saved my life, or changed my life. Incredible. You have to strain your celery juice. It's herbal medicine. You have to strain it. I talked about this all the time. Fiber in a plant is only to create a skeleton to erect it so it can actually grow towards the sun. The fiber in the plant doesn't contain the nutrients. You get plenty of fiber in your diet if you're eating fruits and vegetables. Whatever you're eating, oatmeal, fruits, vegetables, you're getting fiber in all of it, okay? But fiber for plants is to create a skeleton, to a frame, to hold the plant up so the leaves can get the sun. But the fiber isn't where the medicine's at. I mean, the juice inside of the stem is medicine, but the stem frame isn't where the medicine is. Celery juice is a medical treatment, totally. What about the metal on your strainer for celery, like then that you're using? Absolutely. I got metal in my life all the time. I'm not saying metal's out of my life. I'm not saying that at all. I never said metal was out of my life at all. But see, I'm not worried. Because whatever little metal I could get from cooking, or little metal I get from eating at a friend's house, or a little metal I get from a strainer, I'm getting out. So I'm doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. I'm doing the heavy metal detox cleanse. I'm getting it out. So yeah, I'm not running from metal. Why do you think when I do demonstrations, I was just holding this copper? Shouldn't I be scared? Shouldn't I be scared crap? Oils on my skin are getting copper in my skin. But see, I'm not worried because I'm doing something about it. Yeah, I'm doing a demonstration, but I'm doing something about it. But I certainly wouldn't do a copper thermos and mug and just poison myself. Like really poison myself. I'm exposed to metal during these demonstrations. Yeah, I could put gloves on, but you can't avoid everything. You can't avoid everything. Got some aluminum over here. I got aluminum in my skin. Oils in my skin are taking the aluminum in, but guess what? I'm doing the heavy metal detox cleanse. Do I eat out of aluminum packaging and things all as aluminum everything? If I could avoid it, I avoid it. Yeah. Metal drink bottles, yeah, you get all that steel and all that alloy in you, yeah. I avoid metal where I can and when I can, but I like the strainer. I like it. So that's where I give in. I give in on the strainer. It's okay. It's steel. The strainer's stainless steel. So yeah, steel's not perfect. Steel's a mix. But you know where the metals are the worst? The real worst? It's not a strainer. The metals are the worst. The worst place for metals? Alkaline ionizer water machines. All of them. They got metal plates inside and they have electricity going to the metal plates and they corrode. That's one of the worst places. Another bad place, copper mugs, thermoses, copper jewelry. That's another terrible place. Another place, perfumes, colognes. One of the worst places for metals. Air fresheners, scented candles, worst place for metals. Okay? Another place for metals, pharmaceuticals. Got my anti-anxiety medications here. I got my antidepressants on here on Tuesday. I got my thyroid medication here on Wednesday. I got my high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I got my antibiotics because I got another UTI and sinus infection. Yep. What else do I have? More medications here. Plenty of them, right? That's where the metals are too. It's all in meds. Got my steroids. All the meds are in there. All right, so we're moving right along. We're talking about stuff. So let's go into the mind control thing a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. The industries love toxic heavy metals in you guys. The industries love you guys getting lots of aluminum from your aluminum cans. The industries love when you get fluoride. Lots of fluoride treatments. The industries love when you get lots of fluoride treatments. The industries love when you get lots and lots of mercury. It's your fish oil. The industries love metals in your life. The industries love when your tap water at your coffee house, coffee shops, coffee chains, the tap water filled with metals, toxic heavy metals, right? The industries love when you get metals. The mercury man is always out there and loves you getting mercury because it alters your mind. Metals alter our minds, cause problems, create situations where we make decisions we never thought we'd make or didn't make or whatever, put us under all kinds of situations and problems, severe depression, severe anxiety, crippling anxiety. I've seen people make disastrous decisions because of crippling anxiety. I feel so bad for them. I've seen people just cause a lot of problems. Chico, I'm just telling you right now, all ionizer water machines, alkaline water machines, leach metal. They got the metal plates. I'm just telling you right now. It's the worst place. You want metal contamination? Those are the worst. I don't even know how those things are still out there. The damage they've done throughout the years. But what happens is when you got lots of money behind those pyramid schemes and MLM campaigns, you can sell something toxic to anybody. Anyway, metals get into the brain, they saturate the brain, and then create situations in our life. Depersonalization. Cause relationships to break up. Early divorces. Divorces in general. Relationship problems, relationship breakups. How many guys have left women because they had anxiety conditions, because of toxic heavy metals inside their brain? How many guys left women because they had toxic heavy metals in their brain? How many women have left men because of toxic heavy metals in men's brains? How many breakups have ever happened because of toxic heavy metals? Lots. Lots of lives have been shaped and changed because of the mercury man, toxic heavy metal man, all the toxic heavy metals that get inside the brain. Decisions that are made because of nervousness. Decisions that are made because of low confidence, because toxic heavy metals cause low confidence issues. Notice in says, I was numb before AW's information. So, toxic heavy metals shape who we are. They get in the way, though. Cause a lot of problems, cause a lot of traffic in here. Toxic heavy metals cause OCD. How many problems went wrong with people? How many situations have changed because people have OCD? That's toxic heavy metals creating the situation, right? Toxic heavy metals creating the anxiety. Toxic heavy metals creating the depression, creating the OCD. How many situations where toxic heavy metals get in the way like they do? Because toxic heavy metals do that. Toxic heavy metals have really, created traffic jams in people's brains, making them make decisions and go different directions, breakups with relationships, divorces, how people have treated their children, how people have worked in their careers or lost their jobs or whatever it is. And it's not anybody's fault. Misty says this is validating. It's not anyone's fault. Toxic heavy metals cause the first person to become the bad guy. So toxic heavy metals inside our brains cause the person to become the bad guy when you're not the bad guy. Right? You take the blame, but the metals are the real problem. And then how many learning disabilities because of toxic heavy metals? Autism and ADHD and brain fog. How many lives are ruined because of bipolar situations, mania? That's toxic heavy metals. Miranda Kerr, what's up? Miranda Kerr's in the house. Honored you're here. How many situations people are bipolar and they get the mania and they run out of the house, and then the family members have to call like emergency like psych ward people to come. clinic people. Nicole says, it's so nice to know we are not the problem. You're not the problem. All this time you were never the problem. Nikita says, you're a legend, Anthony. I don't know about that. I just want to make sure people get better. Miranda, you're the greatest, Anthony. I'm honored. You're the greatest too. Think about all the people that were Section 8, whatever. You know, like the services, the psych ward services came to people's houses. How many years did that happen to people where family members end up calling like emergency services to come and get someone because they're manic? That mania is because of toxic heavy metals. It's not because of the person's fault, right? How many situations where women got the lobotomies all through the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s? They had their front of their brain removed to calm them down because their anxiety was so bad. It's terrifying. Terrible, really. And they should have never done that to women. They were wrong to do it. But the point is metals have created a lot of situations in people's lives. The depersonalization, the breakup with relationships, decisions that are made that weren't really you making them. It wasn't your fault. You didn't make that decision that you regret or something. That wasn't you making that decision. That was the heavy metal poisoning that was involved with you making that decision. Okay? So all these things are important. So toxic heavy metals are not caused by God. They're not caused by the universe. They're not caused by some creator up in the heavens, in the universe. They're caused by evil people on the planet. And that takes us to a place of like evil people on the planet. There's no evil people on the planet. Are you kidding? Of course there is. Some evil people on the planet. Think about it. The evil people on the planet are going to make sure they take away supplements in 20 years so people don't have supplement rights. Even there's evil people on the planet by the truckloads out there. Bad people, because they, lost faith. They lost faith. So they just go to the dark side. So we're doing the heavy metal detox cleanse. We're day 2 and heavy metal detox cleanse challenge. We're talking about where we get toxic heavy metals, fluoride treatments, drinking out of soda cans. And like I said, if you're somebody that thinks there's a liner inside that soda can, think twice, because there's no liner inside 80% of the soda cans. And that's right, in the beer cans, there's no liner in there. Just letting you know. Everybody thinks they're so safe. Oh, there's a liner in here. Some liner fairy floated down and put a liner in every single can on the shelf in the health food store, every single can on the shelf in the beer store, every single can on the shelf at the conventional grocery store. There's a liner in here. A fairy put a liner in here. No. They're only in some cans, not in most cans. And the liner that is in some cans breaks down and dissolves. Breaks down and dissolves. So that fairy that puts that liner in the can to protect you doesn't exist. And then you drink off the can, you get aluminum poisoning right off the can. But the dental stuff's a big deal. The fluoride and the dental stuff, that's a big deal right there. Right? Heavy metal detox. Let's talk about how it works. We got a lot to cover. It's a good deal here. Okay? You did your lemon water. That's the hydration to help flush out the metals. You did your celery juice. Boom. That helps dislodge metals and flush them out too. And then we're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. That's the key right there. So let's get a hold of some wild blueberries real quick. I've suffered so much. Thank you so much. Harry says, I'm just glad you're here, okay? I'm honored you're here. Fun stuff to talk about. Good information. Let me get some wild blueberries. So, 2 cups of wild blueberries. Got them right here. They're in my refrigerator. So I'm going to pop these babies in. Why are wild blueberries in here? Why isn't there raspberries in here, huh? Why isn't there blackberries in there? Why isn't there cultivated blueberries in there, the big blueberries? Because they don't work. They're healthy. I love all berries. They're healthy, but they don't work. So we got the wild blueberry. That's the baby that works right there. I'm going to put some wild blueberry juice in here. That's the Wyman's wild blueberry juice, right? That's what I do. Pop that in here. If you don't have frozen wild blueberries, do the juice, 2 to 4 ounces. I'm going to pop a couple ounces in there. But I mean, I like going all the way. I got like all out. That's what I do, right? You guys know. And then Vimergy wild blueberry powder. This stuff tastes so good. It's insane. Oh my God. I'm not sponsored by Vimergy. By the way, if you want to get the wild blueberry juice, it's shop.wymans.com, shop.wymans.com. And I do work with these guys because this, I need this to stay around. When I was a child, I never dreamed in a million years that they can take those wild blueberries out of the field, put them in a press, and get them to people in this form, this unbelievable form. I mean, honestly, that has to stay out there for people. Incredible. And you know what I think about too? This is amazing. The wild blueberry powder. Spirit of Compassion told me it would be possible, but when it happens, you just still are like in disbelief because it's so incredible. I put some blueberry powder in here, wild blueberry powder. That's the Vimergy one. You know, Vimergy.com, V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY.com. And it tastes so good, it's ridiculous. When you guys get this, if you guys actually ever do get this, right? If you say you're interested and you do get a bottle, and you taste it, it's just crazy how good it is. I'm gonna make a little kind of like dish with it in a little while. I'm gonna make a couple different things. So I'm going to do put some stuff. It's the best. Miranda, you have it? Miranda, you got that one, right? The Vimergy one? It's incredible, right? It's incredible. But Miranda, I know you got the wild blueberry juice too. By the way, Miranda, they got the full cases in now. They got a full stock. Shop.wymans.com, they got the full stock. So they got the full cases, and you save 13% off each bottle when you buy it by the case. So they got the cases in stock. That's really cool. All right, so we got that set up. Let's go with cilantro. Do a cup of cilantro in here. Now, and let's talk about what the wild blueberries do anyway. That's important to know, okay? So wild blueberries have undiscovered antioxidants. And food science hasn't even tapped into the wild blueberry. And do you want to wait 50 years? Do you guys have time? Do you guys want to wait 30 years so food science actually discovers what's in? They do actually like a real scientific analysis of blueberries, of wild blueberries, of the wild blueberry, and to discover its adaptogenic powers and stuff. Do you want to wait 30 years? Or do you want that power in you? Because the wild blueberry, you can burn it to the ground and it will grow back. It's so powerful. It's so adaptogenic, and it battles the elements. 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 years of cold tundra. And then you can burn it to the ground and it can grow back up. It's just incredible. Anyway, the wild blueberry removes metals. It gets to the brain easy. So here's how it works. Your brain has to get glucose to it. Critical that it gets glucose to it. But the glucose in the wild blueberry, right? The glucose in the wild blueberry is attached to phytochemical compounds that bind on to toxic heavy metals. So when you have toxic heavy metals in the brain, and the brain needs that glucose, the glucose from the wild blueberry has a phytochemical compound that attaches to the metal. Now, banana or apple doesn't have a phytochemical compound that attaches to metals to take it out of the brain. But the wild blueberry does. Miranda says, I've never felt better eating the way you have taught me. Thank you. Miranda Kerr, you're incredible. I mean, you do it too. Thing is with Miranda, she does it. Like, she does it. It's incredible. Like, she does everything. She does everything to the T. She's like right down to the wire. She does everything to the T. Which I'm blown away. So that phytochemical compound attached to the glucose in the wild blueberry enters the brain, and that's what grabs onto the metal to pull it out. But you have to have a glucose attached to that phytochemical compound. And that's what's amazing about the wild blueberry. The cultivated blueberry doesn't have a phytochemical compound to uproot metals, to actually attach them and pull them out. So even though the glucose from a regular blueberry goes to the brain, it can't get the metal out, but the wild blueberry does, right? So, important to know there. That's the blueberry, a little something like that. Cilantro. Cilantro has trace mineral salts and phytochemical compounds that also remove metals from the brain and body. So that's what I love about cilantro. Not a lot of foods do. There's not a lot of foods or herbs or compounds out there that do remove metals from the brain. Now, you can eat cilantro by itself every day and get some metals out a little bit at a time. But when you combine it with everything else and you're doing the heavy metal detox smoothie, it's an entirely different world. Now you're on a whole nother level. By the way, you guys, people all over the world are here tonight. People are doing the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge around the world. I'm honored you're here. Incredible. We were doing shout outs earlier. So exciting. All right. Let's go into Spirulina land. So then I do a teaspoon of Spirulina in this smoothie. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes it's, even more. But you got the teaspoon right here. Right? Now, Spirulina is a metal remover. It doesn't drop the metal. Either does the blueberry. The wild blueberry doesn't drop the metal. There's a reason why you don't see chlorella in this medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie or cleanse, because chlorella doesn't work. It doesn't take metal out of the brain. And if it does attach to metal anywhere in the body, it drops it. It drops it. Because that's what chlorella does. It drops it. And that's not the only reason why you don't see chlorella here. In my opinion, from my experience of 35 years of helping people, I've seen chlorella poison people over and over again. I know the chlorella people don't like hearing it, but I've seen people holding onto their toilets and barfing their guts out, and their children barfing their guts out. Children barfing their guts out because of chlorella. It's never tested. It's never tested properly. And here's something that's really important to know. Chlorella can have bad bacteria thrive within it. Spirulina is a bacteria killer. Spirulina kills bad bacteria. Bad bacteria can't thrive in spirulina. Chlorella feeds bad bacteria. Now, does that make any sense? Why would chlorella support bad bacteria? Bad bacteria can live in chlorella. Think about that. It won't kill bad bacteria. It lives in it. Important to know. As he says, so other than the spirit, what makes us take this guy's advice? Millions of books around the planet. #1 New York Times best-selling books. #1 health author in the world. #1 best-selling books in health in the world globally, 6.5 years, because people healed. The street cred's there. Everybody against me, like the industries, and yet we're still standing and people are healing around the world. Right? I'm censored all the time. Maybe that will give you a little window on why you should trust this guy. I'm censored on IG. I'm censored all over the place. Okay? And some of the most powerful people in the world have knocked on my door for help when they've access to every single doctor there is on the planet. They fly their private jets around. They go to Europe looking for doctors and everywhere else, and they end up at my doorstep for 35 years. Does that help? Science is using medical medium information. Medical medium information is the reason why we talk about Epstein-Barr being reactivated and being the cause of autoimmune now. Medical medium information is why you know about metals now. 35 years of work about metals and what they cause. That right there tells you everything. And that's just some stuff, I guess. Maybe not everything. But don't trust me. All right, so I put the spirulina in there. I put a little bit more. So spirulina kills bad bacteria. This is the Vimergy spirulina, and I'm not sponsored, and it's the best stuff there is. I don't like Pacific spirulina. You guys know the story. Because Pacific Ocean's too polluted, and the garbage patch has shifted another 200 miles. The garbage patch is now encroaching the Pacific coast, and that water is polluted, and the sea life has nowhere to go. And that's why you see more sea life than ever before on the Pacific coast, because it's been pushed out of the middle of the ocean, and it's now, you're seeing sea life that doesn't even exist on the coast being pushed on the coast. The water's so toxic. And Chastity says the fact that his protocols work. More people, tens of thousands of healing stories around the world. Dr. Sherry Green, doctors everywhere follow this information, even those that don't admit it, closet doctors. Dr. Nesbitt doesn't like those doctors, the closet doctors that won't admit it, some of them out there. Dr. Nesbitt doesn't like those doctors. He wants to do surgery on them. Maybe we can get him out of surgery later. Spirulina kills bad bacteria. Chlorella feeds bad bacteria. And that's why so many people have gotten sick from chlorella, and it doesn't get metals out. That's Vimergy.com, Victor, IMERGY.com. Sage Mama says, healing results speak for themselves. Doctors mean nothing when they are being given the wrong information. Doctorates mean nothing. My doctor says he is. Pammy says. All right, you guys, we got the cilantro in there. We got the spirulina in there. Barley grass juice powder. You can't do barley grass. Barley grass won't work. Hey, I got the barley grass. You guys, I'm ready to do it. No, barley grass juice powder. Juice. Let's be barley grass juice powder. Chemical compounds to remove toxic heavy metals. The reason why you have to have all 5 of these ingredients, because metals are deep. And it takes a lot to get them out of the body, out of the brain, and travel them out and get them out of the body. Atlantic dulse. Okay? Wild blueberry holds on to the metals and pulls it out of the body. Chlorella drops the metal if it even grabs it. I just put some Atlantic dulse in there. If you don't have dulse, you can do it without the dulse. But I like the home run. I throw the dulse in there. Spirulina holds on to the metals and helps to pull it out of the body. Doesn't drop it in critical places. Doesn't drop it in critical places. So we got the smoothie here. Let's get some orange in here. Maybe some bananas too. How did they get in the brain in the first place? Watch this from the beginning. All you got to do is breathe in toxic heavy metals and they get to the brain. That's perfume, scented candles. You breathe them in, they get into the brain. Eat them and they find their way to the brain. I'll go into it in detail if you want sometime. It's called Into Your Bloodstream. Francis says he still takes pharmaceuticals from his doctor, so not all doctors are bad. Let's see, I better take my anti-anxiety medication. I better take... Should I get my anxiety? I better take my antidepressants. I need to take my antidepressants. I got my high blood pressure medication. I got my high cholesterol medication. I still take all my medications, you guys, because I really need them. I got more medications. I have a really bad infection right now. I got a bad UTI. I got a really bad UTI. So I'm taking my antibiotics. Lots of antibiotics right now. Doctor prescribed. So someone said that I must believe in doctors, so I'm taking all my medications. You guys know I'm not on medications, right? I'm not on any medications at all. I'm not on any medications. I see where someone missed the joke line there somewhere along the way, and they actually think I'm actually on medications. All right, let's go. Let's put some orange squeeze in here. I'm not on medications. All right? Although Dr. Nesbitt thinks I need to be on medications. Dr. Nesbitt, my chicken doctor. All right, I'm putting orange in here. Okay. You guys, let's just make a smoothie. We got more to talk about. Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. A reminder, if you got here and you don't know anything about what's going on, or if you're new here, cleanse to heal. Why orange juice? It's just extremely alkaline. And alkalinity is critical. That's why the lemon water and the celery juice on the same day, they're extremely alkaline. You want alkalinity from sources like the lemon and the celery and the orange. And calcium is critical too, because you want the calcium from the orange too, because it makes the blood alkaline. So we got the Cleanse the Heal book. Remember, Amazon.com US, okay? Important. It's 51% off. Take advantage. That's the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanses in that book. Why not the whole orange? Sure, you could do the whole orange. Go ahead. I just like squeezing the juice in, but yeah, you can do the whole orange. Of course. Yeah, you can do that. Totally fine with that. No problem. What you won't find in the smoothie is chlorella. Told you that, right? You won't find in the smoothie chlorella. Are you in there? No. You won't find charcoal in the smoothie either. Charcoal? Whose bad idea was the charcoal? You won't find charcoal in there. No. You won't find bentonite clay in here. Who put the bentonite clay in here? Where's the bentonite clay? There's no bentonite clay in here. You won't find zeolite in here. Where's the zeolite? Huh? Where's zeolite? You won't find zeolite in here. Let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. That's next. Giving this a grind on love so I can still talk and hear you guys. Oh, no banana. Check. Thank you. Oh my God. Check. Thank you. There's no banana in here. Oh man. Thank you. It's all those metals in my brain. That's pretty funny, right? Could you also talk about zeolite and heavy metals in the intestinal tract? Absolutely. So why isn't zeolite in here? We're going to talk about why bentonite clay, zeolite, charcoal isn't in here, garlic isn't in here. Garlic's great, but it's not in here. So this. How come zeolite's not in here? Let's go into that. We're going to also talk about why bentonite clay is not in here. Everything else. So to get this going. So let's cover zeolite for the moment. Zeolite is not a good thing to take. I don't support it at all. I don't recommend it. Zeolite doesn't get metals out of the brain. It doesn't get metals out of the liver. It doesn't get metals out of the body. So that's important to know, okay? Now, in Book 1, Medical Medium Book 1, I placed it as an option because there was a zeolite that I trusted enough that didn't have the cross-contamination of the non-edible zeolites. Okay? And I put that in the gut health chapter as an option just for the intestinal tract, right? That was before Atlantic Dulse. But that was for that, but here's the thing, for the surface of the intestinal tract. That's all, as an option. Back then, years ago, I trusted one zeolite for the surface layer of the intestinal tract for possibly helping assist metals out. So I put that in the book, right? But never did I ever say there that it does the metals specifically in the brain and in the organs and in other places like that. So that's important to know right there. The other thing is zeolites I don't support because in the industry uprooted a lot of unedible zeolites and they've cross-contaminated. Unedible zeolites are dangerous. And no one's doing a cross-check in these zeolite companies. No one's coming down on these zeolite companies. These MLM zeolite companies, these pyramid zeolite companies that are trying to latch onto medical medium information to try to sell their zeolite with the smoothie. No one's going through to see and analyzing and doing analysis to see if their zeolite was cross-contaminated. Because zeolites that are inedible are dangerous to your children, to anyone. They're dangerous. And as of right now, so here's the whole point. I don't support any zeolite because no one's doing the tests and the studies to find the cross-contamination because they're manufacturing, the industries are manufacturing and uprooting dangerous zeolites. Okay? And then they lie to you and tell you that zeolite gets metals out of the brain when it doesn't. They lie. Lie. They don't even have signs to show zeolite going to the brain. It's such a lie. So you're being so scammed. And supplement companies have free will, so they'll just do whatever they want, with no check and balance. The point is that the dangerous zeolites have cross-contaminated. Let me just throw this at you. Did you ever see a package saying, also, nut contamination, like there's nuts and seed, tree nuts, this may contain tree nuts, right? But there's no almonds in that thing, there's no walnuts, but it says may contain tree nuts, because it was manufactured in a facility that also uses tree nuts, right? Did you ever see the thing like gluten too? This may contain gluten, even though it's a gluten-free product, it may contain gluten because they're manufacturing in a place they're doing gluten. Zeolites, before they get to the manufacturer, they're cross-contaminated with inedible zeolites now. That's what went wrong. They're inedible zeolites. I wouldn't go near a zeolite if someone paid me. You can literally say, take the zeolite product, the best one on the market, so they say, I'll give you $1 million. And I'd be like, forget it. I don't want the million because I know that if it's got the cross-contamination, which they do, you can get so in trouble. You'll ruin that lining of your intestinal tract. That's why I don't support zeolite, because that cross-contamination exists and you'll destroy your intestinal tract lining. If medical medium isn't sitting there saying zeolite's good, then it's not good. Why wouldn't I say it's good? If it's good, I would say it's good. If it's good now and there's a zeolite now, I would say it's good right now. I would say, oh yeah, you can do a zeolite too. Or, oh yeah, you can do this too. You can do a bentonite clay. You can do a zeolite. You can do, of course, I would say it. What would stop me from saying it? What would be the problem? So that's the whole point. So what I'm trying to tell you is that whole zeolite thing is just bad news. And yeah, okay, I don't make any friends. So now I got the zeolite industry, because remember, it's all about money. So the zeolite industry has money. So they're going to make sure, someone says crap about me and stops another 50, 100 people, 5,000 people from, learning medical medium information, because they'll just say crap. And the lies out there, And so, but you got to understand, if I'm not supporting it, and then I tell you why I'm not supporting it, there's a reason. Like, what do I have against zeolite? Nothing, unless there's a problem. So the cross-contamination of unedible zeolites, unedible zeolites is the problem. And you can't tell the difference, even if you wanted to now. They've uprooted the inedible versions, the dangerous ones. They're all brought to the same facilities. And then when someone wants to create a zeolite product, they'll buy it from a company, but they don't know what they're buying. So as of right now, in my opinion, any zeolite product is contaminated as of 2021, contaminated with the bad zeolite powder. That's my opinion. You can go do what you want. You can go do what you want and go take what you want. You can trust whatever someone says about whatever snake oil they say, blah, 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 this does this. But I'm just telling you, as of 2021, Medical Medium's opinion is they're cross-contaminated with inedible zeolites. No one's checking, balancing it. No one gets it, and it can destroy your intestinal lining. And that's why I don't support zeolite across the board. And any influencer and everybody that's being paid or do this with this, good luck. Good luck. Because 10 years down the road, when that shit comes out, you're just going to look real bad 10 years from now. Real bad 15 years from now. And I never even said zeolite takes it out of the brain like that. So does it? Anyway, heavy metal detox. Let's go into the next one, bentonite clay. Let's go into that one. So this is important to cover this. Bentonite clay, another intestinal lining destroyer right there. Another intestinal lining destroyer. Not as bad as the unedible zeolites, but still an irritant the intestinal lining. You got Crohn's, colitis, celiac, IBS. Bentonite clay is your worst freaking nightmare. Same thing with the bad zeolites, with all the zeolites, because they're cross-contaminated right now. But it's like your worst nightmare. And these products get out there. So here you are, medical medium stuff, keeping you going, and then you're taking products that's not medical medium recommended that are knocking you down. And then the minute you get knocked down and sick for a minute, someone's going to say, oh, it must be medical medium stuff, and not your zeolite and bentonite clay and chlorella and everything else. The bentonite clay does not remove toxic heavy metals. Neither does the zeolites. Neither does the charcoal. The charcoal suffocates your liver. It suffocates your intestinal lining so that your liver can't get the nutrients it needs. Did you guys know that? That when you swallow charcoal, your lining doesn't allow nutrients to pass from your lining into your liver, so your liver starves. Here's the other thing. When you take charcoal, get this, you guys. When you take charcoal, okay, you're taking the oxygen, you're suffocating oxygen from the good bacteria. Did you know your good bacteria in your gut can only survive with oxygen? Did you know that? Did you know the lining of your intestinal tract has to have oxygen? And did you know that good bacteria it thrives on oxygen, good microorganisms? Did you know that when you take charcoal, you suffocate good microorganisms from having oxygen, and then bad bacteria thrives? Did you know how bad bacteria thrives in your intestinal tract? It thrives in your intestinal tract, okay? It thrives in your intestinal tract when you don't have oxygen in your intestinal tract lining. And charcoal suffocates and stomps out all oxygen that's in your intestinal tract lining, on the lining, so that bad bacteria thrives. Charcoal creates a proliferation of bad bacteria. Very important to know. Freedom says Dulse often has plastics in it, though lots of reports of plastic. Where can I get? That's inaccurate information. That's inaccurate information right there. Don't do Pacific Dulse. Pacific Dulse, don't get confused with Atlantic Dulse. That's where the inaccurate information is. Pacific Dulse is so toxic, you're technically not even allowed to eat it. That's not Atlantic Dulce. Okay? So let's go into this again a little bit more. So the charcoal is suffocating the oxygen, which allows bad bacteria to grow. That's why you don't see charcoal in the heavy metal detox smoothie. All right. If you can't find Atlantic Dulse, don't worry. Do 4. Do the wild blueberry, right? The wild blueberries. Do the cilantro. Do the barley grass juice powder. Barley grass juice powder. Do the spirulina. All right, so let's make some food. Okay? I don't think I covered them all. I covered charcoal. Okay, once again, chlorella. I covered that a little bit. So chlorella, charcoal, bentonite clay, zeolite. They don't work. And anybody else who comes up with their own heavy metal detox blend because Medical Medium put heavy metals on the map, that's why we even know about them, 35 years of this. Anybody else who puts their own blend together, good luck, because you're just making shit up now. That's what you're doing, and it's so sad. And just make stuff up, right? Oh, here's a heavy metal thing. I'm going to put bentonite clay in there, and I'm going to put zeolite in there. Let me make something up. Yeah. And then chelation too. Bad chelations. Seen chelation mess up a lot of people, you guys. I've seen chelation hurt a lot of people. Can't even tell you, like really bad. So let's recap real quick. We're going to make some food too, and we'll do a little recap. So let me get a bowl out. Yeah. It's all important information. So what you can do too is you can make kind of like a little yummy little kind of pudding thing. You can do like, I've seen people do this too. It's great, right? You can put some of that wild blueberry powder that tastes so incredible. This is one way to do it, right? In a bowl, you can put some of the barley grass juice powder. This is the Demergy stuff, right? In there too. It's great for kids. Kids like this, right? Got that. A little spirulina in there. A little spirulina in there too. So great. Clumsy Hill book. You guys, make sure you have it. 51% off Amazon.com US. Make sure you got that. So important. Page 179, Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse. Grab one if you don't. Seriously, you guys should. Take advantage and grab one if you can. I'm going to drop some honey in here. This makes it taste really good. A little bit of honey. Right? I like putting the Wyman's Wild Blueberry Juice in here. That's what I like doing. Okay? I like putting a little bit of the Wild Blueberry Juice. That's at shop.one. I told you I'm working with these guys, though. I'm proud of it, man. Put a little bit of the Wild Blueberry Juice in here, too. You can put a little bit more. And you just do a mix-up in a bowl with honey, the wild blueberry powder, spirulina, the barley grass juice. Right? For kids, this is a great way to administer. That's what I recommend for friends and family, right? So a little bit of wild blueberry juice in there too. So that's a great little pudding right there. That's delicious. Really incredible and delicious. You can also do the coconut water version, right? Coconut water version, you guys. I take the wild blueberry juice, pop that in there. This is a fun way of doing it too. Drop the spirulina in there. Right? Drop the barley grass juice powder in there. And then the rest of the day, you could get your cilantro like on a salad later on. Try to do Medical Medium no-fat recipes, fat-free recipes. Put the wild blueberry powder in here, and then cleanse to heal the low-fat, actually the no-fat recipes, and you just mix it with coconut water. You have this. This is great when you're traveling, all kinds of stuff like that. It's a great option. Right in the coconut water. You're having it like that. Boom. That's an amazing way to have it right there. And then just what you do. You can really like take advantage of the information in here. You do the heavy metal detox cleanse and then do the recipes, 75 recipes in there, do the recipes for the rest of the day, and you can really clean up those metals. Just avoid radical fats till noon for sure, and then if you can go further than that, you could be fat-free for a whole day and just do the recipes in here and take it even further. Fats thicken the blood and make it harder for metals to come out. Keep that in mind. It makes it harder for metals to come out because the fat thickens up the blood. Now, I like metal. I like pectin pulling out metals out of the intestinal tract. So apples. Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse also has apples in there. Before noon, have a little bit of apple, 1 or 2, or just half an apple if you can even get that in. Or you can extend your cleanse past noon and do, and let everything kind of lag out a little bit, lag time and lag it out, like extend it, and then you could have your apples later in the afternoon, and then do maybe a fat-free meal from the Cleanse to Heal recipe section at night, and boom, now you got yourself you just customize yourself medical medium tools, because that's what medical medium tools are. It's about customizing. Shallot doesn't remove toxic heavy metals. Shallot doesn't remove toxic heavy metals. I see that constantly. Everybody say shallot, Ayurvedic, shallot. Okay, fine, but it doesn't remove metals. And Ayurvedic medicine didn't know we had metals. That's what confuses me. I'm not trying to. Why no shallot? Because it doesn't remove metals. It's not. It's about fixing things. That's all. It's about fixing things. And what's interesting is if Ayurvedic medicine never knew people had toxic heavy metals, because they didn't. 35 years I've watched it. They didn't know it. It wasn't even on the radar. Then why are they an expert on how to get rid of a metal when they didn't know it existed? Because I'm confused right there. I'm scratching my head. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying, does that make any sense to you? If you're a sensitive person, I've said this over and over, try to do smaller dosages. You can do that. 4 ounces of the smoothie, you can do that. 8 ounces of the smoothie, make a smaller smoothie, smaller dosages. You could always do any of that. Health with Liz says they all take your info. I know. They don't know the root causes, but they take the information. You like that? They don't know the root causes of why people are sick, but they take the info. They take pieces, and all of a sudden you'll hear metals cause this. So where did that come from? So you got 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water upon awaking, flush out the body and hydrate. It helps to flush out the metals. You got that, right? Lemon water. 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water, right? You got that? Boom. Okay. 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice. 15 to 30 minutes later, right? Okay, we did that. I know we recapped already 5 times, 10 times tonight. Let's recap again. 16 to 32 ounces of celery juice. Right? Rewatch IGTV to the end, the beginning to the end. Next, when you get a chance, I'm going to post it. Then Heavy Metal Detox Smoothie comes after that. Apples come after that. Before noon, you're not doing any fats, but you're trying to get all this in before noon, right? And then, hey, do the Medical Medium Cleanse to Heal book, recipes with it. That's where the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse is. It's in here. It's on page 179. Here it is. We covered metals in the brain, mind control, the industries, what they do. We covered a lot of that fun stuff. You guys should check out the YouTube. You guys, I did a YouTube earlier. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can. Just subscribe to it if you get a chance. Avoid troublemaker foods when you can. Eggs, dairy products, gluten, avoid them for better results. And check out Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Listen to the episodes there. Yeah, mind control is real. Never forget it. Hope you guys had some fun. Boom. So Reuben Sandwich says that's a good one. I don't like Reuben sandwiches. I think they're kind of toxic, right? Reuben Sandwich on IG says this guy has no credentials. Well, Reuben, is my assistant getting a hold of you right now, giving you the phone number here? Yeah, Reuben, give us a call. I'll wait for you. I think my assistant's going to give you the number. Reuben's an interesting fellow. Reuben Sandwich we can bring on. Says I have no credentials. Hello, Reuben. So, Reuben. Ruben, I got Dr. Nesbitt here. Ruben, Dr. Nesbitt's here. I just got him out of... He was in a psych ward. He's a psychiatrist at a famous psych ward. Yeah, he's got advice for you. First of all, he says, change your handle. He says, change your handle on Instagram. Don't call it Ruben Sandwich, because he says those aren't so good for you. He's also a surgeon. He does heart surgery, and Ruben Sandwiches will give you a heart attack. Really? It says Ruben Sandwiches will definitely give you a heart attack. So Ruben, so you have a problem because they have no credentials? What do you want me to do? Go to medical school now? What do you think's wrong with Ruben Sandwich? Don't say that. Don't call him psycho. We don't know if he's actually psycho or not, or if he's psycho? You want him on medication? Do you want to talk to his doctor? Dr. Nesbitt, the psychiatrist here, wants to talk to your doctor, Ruben. Ruben, contact your doctor. Tell your doctor to talk to Dr. Nesbitt. He wants to talk to your psychiatrist. He says your medications are imbalanced. Well, Ruben's on the phone. Do you want to talk to him? Dr. Nesbitt's talking to Ruben Sandwich right now from IG, who says they have no credentials. What did you guys talk about? You said that he's definitely imbalanced with his medications, his psych meds? Is that what you said? All right, well, what are you going to do? You're going to talk to his acting psychiatrist? Are you going to adjust his medication? You want his psychiatrist to adjust his medication. Dr. Nesbitt, who's a board-certified psychiatrist, says he wants to talk to your doctor to adjust your medications, Ruben Sandwich. Yeah. Ruben, are you okay? Ruben, are you having a manic attack? Ruben. Ayahuasca? Who told you to do ayahuasca? Ruben, don't do ayahuasca, Ruben. Don't. Ruben Sandwich, don't do ayahuasca. You're already bad off as it is. All right. Where's my credentials? Oh, geez. All right, I'll go back. I'll go to medical school. You want me to go to medical school? All right. Okay, I'll do that for you. All right. You guys know I love you guys, right? Tomorrow's day 3 of the Heavy Metal Detox Cleanse Challenge. I hope I see you guys there. And we got kicked off 4 times already since Ruben called. You know that there's people that actually work and they're like knocking people off manually. All right, you guys know I love you. All right, ever since I launched the Medical Medium podcast too, especially. You guys, this was fun, but I have to go now. You got kicked off too? I know, I saw right when Ruben Sandwich, the troll, was on. Check this out. How does that work? Think about it. Ruben Sandwich, the troll, comes on. We were at 1,100 people, right? And they were kicking people off anyway at 1,150 people. And then Ruben Sandwich came on, right? And then all you guys got kicked off. When a troll, right? Exactly. You got kicked off 4 times in that moment, right? Interesting. So it's definitely manual. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Holistic Healer. Do you like the Medical Medium podcast? Awesome. You guys know I love you. Shecky used to work for Facebook and IG. Oh, cool. All right, love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time. Hope to see you there. I saw somebody say tofu sandwich. All right, you guys.